Okay, so here we have another HESI question. This is from the vocabulary section. All right, I'm just going to move this block out of the way so we can see. All right, and what they're asking us is they're asking us adding which of the following prefixes to cardium would describe the membrane around the heart. Now, I'm going to go into a little more in-depth way of dealing with these questions generally. All right, but right now I'll just kind of run right through it. So there are going to be three types of three parameters that you're going to get with the vocabulary questions, right? And those parameters are going to be the prefix, right? The word itself, the underlined word. This is usually the stem, right? And the context clue, right? So those three parameters are going to be given. At least two of those three parameters will be given in any of the vocabulary problems you get, right? In this one, we have the root of the word, which is underlined cardium, and over here, the last three words are the context clue, membrane around the heart. Now, the context clue may not seem important, but it's vitally important in being able to master the vocabulary section because this context clue is actually the definition of the prefix. Okay, it's a general definition of the prefix, right? So if they're asking you which of the following prefixes to cardium would describe the membrane around the heart, they're literally giving you the general definition of the prefix that they're asking for, right? So it's important that we get a list of our prefixes, and it's not a lot, I believe, for if I remember the numbers correctly, there's something like 10 or 15 of these Latin or Greek prefixes that you need to know. And then you have, well, actually, no, it's more than that. It's like about 20, right? And then they have what we call normal prefixes. At least that's what we call them in this program, right? And it's about 10 of those. And those will be explained if you have any questions about those later. So, as we said, you have to identify the context clue in the sentence, right? It's either going to be in the sentence or in the answer list, or it'll be somewhere, right? And then you're able to match the context clue with the prefix that you need. So the definition is something going around something. I said the context clue is a general definition, right? It's not an exact definition. So we have membrane around the heart, right? So which of these prefixes means something going around something? So sin, no. Epi, no. Peri, yes. Peri means something going around something, right? That's a general definition of that prefix, right? What gives it more definition is the root that's used with peri, right? So in this case, they gave us the definition of the prefix that we need, which is peri. So we know that peri is the answer, right? Now let's talk about a general approach. How do we answer like a whole bunch of vocabulary questions? We have to know the three parameters that we just talked about. We have to know the prefix. We have to know their general definition. So for, like I said, for the ones that are, these are Greek or Latin, there's going to be about 20 to 25 of those, right? You're going to make a list of those. You can get them easily. You can get them all from this one video here. This video is available at the website, at the St. Paul School of Nursing website. Or you can get them in a book. They're usually listed in the back of the book, but it's going to be about 20, 25. You have to write them down on a card with their definitions and just kind of memorize them. Right? And then the way you do that is you read them when you get up, you read them before you go to bed, and you do a practice exam at least 4 days, 4 out of the 5 days prior to the test for vocabulary, and it will stick in your head. Okay? And the reason why it will happen so quickly is not that it's magic; it's because we use these all the time. We just don't make a conscious note that hey, we're using a prefix, and this prefix means that. We see prefixes in words all the time. We know what the words mean, and it by default that's telling us the general definition of the prefix. So our brains are going to automatically, once we put it all together, when we start practicing with it, our brains are going to quickly put it together, and we're going to realize that we know all these prefixes already. We just the trick is just to sort them out. To remember, okay, sin means this one, epi means that one, peri means this one. Okay, and that's it. So we need to learn these prefixes so we can really ace the vocabulary, and that's about it. Okay. All right. And it works with any vocabulary question. Let's do another one just for show. All right. Let's do the next one. Did I pass it? All right, remember, they're going to mix and match those things that I just mentioned to you. Um, the prefix, the root, and sometimes the the clue, right? They don't always put all three, but they always put at least two, right? One will be in if they use two, one will be in a sentence, the other one will be in the selection, uh, in the multiple choice selection. All right, so let's use that same technique. Now that we have an idea how to do this, what are we looking for? We know that we know our prefixes because we studied. Let's pretend that we're in the future now. We know our 25 prefixes, so we can, and this is another reason why we need to know them, because in this case, what they gave us was the context clue: dismal, acceptable, worthwhile, magnificent. Right? Those are definitions. Remember, I said those definitions, right? They put those in the answer list, right? And they put the prefix in front of the root word. The prefix here is super, right? Now we all know what super means, right? Because we've been seeing it all our lives. We see it in comic books. We see it when we go out, right? I don't know if you guys remember, there used to be markets. You go to this big store, you buy food. Your mom or dad buys food for the whole family. They used to call those supermarkets. I don't know what they call them now, but they used to call those supermarkets. Now you have, delivery and all that stuff. But they used to call those supermarkets, right? And I mean, you can go way back in time before when your parents were born. They had a on black and white television program called Superman. Okay, so wherever you go in the world, you know the meaning of that prefix super. It's the best of the best, the top of the top, right? And that's what we're gonna. That's the prefixes they have here. So all we really need to do is match up the definition of super, right, with the context clue given here. So the best of the best. Is it dismal? No. Is it acceptable? No. Is it worthwhile? No. Magnificent most closely matches the best of the best. So the critics, so they're saying select the meaning of the underlying word in a sentence. It means magnificent. Okay. The ballerina gave a magnificent performance, and that's it. All right. Now you may ask, well, wait a second. The root of the word is lative, right? So why are we only going by the definition of the prefix? Because the definition of the prefix is the definition of the word. Remember that. Okay? So all you're really doing is you're matching up those three parameters when you're doing the vocabulary game, right? The context clue, the prefix, and definition of the word. All right? Okay. So I hope that helped. If it did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next question. Have an amazing day.